So here we go, our New Year's Eve issue. Welcome to Own It, Your Business and Your Life, with Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. In this podcast, we're going to cover everything you need to embrace to become a successful entrepreneur, marketing, money, and much, much more. How to create a business doing just what you love. How to own it, your business and your life. This one will be fast, funny, feisty, and very lively. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Tell me, it won't be New Year's Eve, will it? It'll be the 20, what will it be? Shall I have a look? Oh, I've got it written here, Friday the 27th of December. So 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 is New Year's Eve the following Tuesday. It's our New Year's edition.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that, aren't we?
How exciting not. I don't really get excited by New Year, do you?
No, not really. No, not since the whole going out and partying thing finished. No.
And you see, that's why I didn't like it, because I think I've told you this before. There was an awful propensity for people I loved who were in couples to split up on New Year's Eve. And and that really just made it so miserable, you know.
Yeah, I had my only spectacular split up with Irving was on New Year's Eve.
Well, there you go. There's such a high. What's the thing? High anxiety as a movie, isn't there? There's such a high sort of requirement to have a good time, particularly when you're in your 20s, that it just inevitably leads to disaster somehow. Yes,
I remember we had a massive row in the Coach and Horses in Soho. Then my sisters kidnapped me. They'd had enough because he was playing me about, really, to be honest. And they'd had enough, and they kidnapped me and took me to Oxford for the week. And that was in the days of no mobile phones. So he was ringing the house and ringing the house and ringing the house. I wasn't there and I wasn't there and I wasn't there. He totally gave him a complete panic because he thought, oh, God, I've blown it this time.
Yeah.
And that was good for him, actually.
Well, that's what the girl's idea was, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, honestly, that funny story if he was phoning the house. We used to have, what were they called? Answering machines in those days.
Yes, I did. And I got back to about 25 messages.
Yes.
Getting more and more contrite as
yes.
they went along.
Yes. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Nice memory.
It was hard, though. I mean, God, I still remember the psychic pain of it to this day.
Well, that's why I don't like New Year. I always think if I have a quiet night in and go to bed early and just sort of try and sleep through other people's fireworks, nothing like that can harm me. No emotional pain can arrive at my house.
No, quite.
Be safe.
I was only telling the kids that the other night, and they're always quite astonished when they hear stories of us talking, because it just seems so remote to them.
I know. I don't think they think we had a life before them, did we?
No. It's very funny.
Yeah. My father used to say that, actually, when my brother and I were old enough to teach him, to give him handy tips from the back seat about how to drive. He used to say, I don't know how I managed before you two gave me tips about driving.
Oh, good stuff. So, I'll have had Christmas lunch at Heather's by then.
Oh, good. So I saw that the back of the house had been knocked through. They're hoping to have walls back up by Christmas Day, are they?
No, we're going to Hove. And it's
okay.
Me, Phoebes and Nelson.
Okay.
And Heather and Richard, I think we're going to be on their own. So they've taken pity on us. But normally it's me cooking. I've cooked for the last, 15 years. And before that it was Steve for 10 years. So, it's been, well, actually, that's not true, is it? The last 5 years I've cooked for, and the last 10 years Steve cooked for. So, so Sarah's going off to Chloe's new house because Chloe's moved in with her man into a place they bought. And Spencer's got his own pad now, but he's going to dinner at his dad's. So, it's going to be very different this year. My dad's gone to Bruges to escape the whole thing.
Yes, good for him.
Him and Eileen, they just announced they were going away for a week.
Yep.
So, it's going to be interesting. We're going to play it very low-key. We've decided to go and see Star Wars this week. And we're also, Phoebe and I are going to go for a bouillabaisse round at this sort of newly refurbed pub cum restaurant, which I've had bouillabaisse there and it was quite nice. And we were watching MasterChef last night and they cooked bouillabaisse and she said, oh, that looks nice. I said, well, it is. So let's go and have some.
And is that in Shoreham?
Yes, it's a place that used to be. In fact, it's the place that used to be Beach House that was responsible for the oysters that I think gave me the norovirus.
Mine was lettuce when I got the norovirus. I think I have been to the Beach House, but only once.
Yeah, it was lovely, and it's now the Tap House, and it's nice, but it's a bit more, further down market, but not too far, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So what about you then? What will you have done?
Well, today I'm in week 2 in Lewisham with still no decision on my Christmas dinner because of the only one saucepan thing. I've put my order in for turkey and vegetables and things for Ocado for Tuesday, and today is Thursday. So I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 6 days to change my mind and sort of just not do Christmas dinner at all. Tomorrow I'm going to see 2 chaps and their 2 cats for a house sit on the 29th to the 6th in Clapham, which is quite interesting because that takes me back to where my whole business career and adult life began, and really close to my niece and nephews if I want to see them because I haven't seen them on Christmas Day. Did I tell you about the genius idea I proposed to my nephew that he would patch me in on Christmas Day via Skype?
That sounds like quite a lot of technology.
No, I don't think so. He just opens up a laptop and Skypes me, and that's it. They're you know, they can see me and I can see them and I can chat to them for 10 minutes. That doesn't sound too difficult. He did say he would have to download Skype and take his laptop, but we'll see. I'm going to nudge him later to see if he wants to rehearse it. Anyway, so they live in a luxury pad, these 2 guys. They haven't offered me the gig yet. It's subject to a visit tomorrow, but it's obvious to me now that people find it quite hard to find house sitters for Christmas and New Year, actually. So I'm looking forward to going to see them. And then, in theory, on the 6th of January, I'm moving for a month to my friend Leslie's cottage in Oxfordshire. But she's in Africa, and she sent me a message saying, "Oh God, they've sprung a leak. And last time that happened, there was no water and no heat, and it took months to solve." But then 24 hours later, she sent me another email that said, "Oh, better news, we found the leak. Fingers crossed they'll fix it." So maybe, actually, today's the 19th. I only know where I'm going to be sleeping for the next 10 nights.
That's a level of uncertainty I simply couldn't cope with.
It is. I mean, you get used to it the longer you do it, funnily enough.
Yeah.
You know, if I go into terror, which I'm more inclined to do in the night than the daylight, and I haven't done that this week because I'm pretty sure about Clapham, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be all right whatever happens. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Esther says so.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and that's brilliant. Now, I've got one strange thing to tell you and one really, really funny thing to tell you. What do you want to hear first?
Oh, I don't mind.
Strange. Let's do strange. I had 10 new friend requests on Facebook yesterday.
What?
And, you know, I use Facebook exclusively for business. So that's like 10 people joining my list yesterday. And this morning, I've asked them, and they all denied that they'd been put up to it by a third party. And I wondered whether perhaps Facebook was doing something strange and encouraging us all to pick up new friends. It certainly hasn't encouraged me to pick up new friends. But then I dropped them in a thing saying, here's my Facebook page, or invited all 10 of them to like my Facebook page. And I dropped them in a note saying, if you want to get to know me better, here's our podcast, 253 episodes and counting. So I thought, since I don't know them and since it's all marketing for me, I might as well invite them to find out more about their new friend.
Yes, you have to be careful with that because copy and pasting and the same message 10 times could alert the Facebook gods.
No, I haven't done that. I just use the facility on your Facebook page to invite friends.
Oh, okay.
Which I do often, and then I put a comment in reply to them. I asked them, you know, who I suspected somebody like Veronica Pullen said, go over and see how Judith does Facebook, but they all denied it. So what's the point of having new friends if they don't even know who I am? So I just put a little comment on the thing saying, you might like to, if you're a podcast type, here's the link.
Yes, I've been firmly weeding out my friends on LinkedIn. No, I haven't. There's a facility on LinkedIn where you can actually unfollow people without uncontacting them. So they're still in your contacts, but you don't have to see all the gubbins they posted.
Well, and you can on Facebook too, really.
I don't really see stuff by people I don't know and like on Facebook. I've had that under control for many years.
So you use Facebook more personally?
Yeah, I do. Yes. Well, except I'm definitely noticing I'm using it less and less and less generally now because I'm not the only sort of things I do for fun on social media are YouTube videos of various kinds, and I use the texting to keep in touch with the children when I'm on here. So I'm finding I need it less and less. Although I am thoroughly enjoying TikTok right now because it's very funny and it's got lots of funny animals on it. So that's my entertainment on social media, if you like, along with YouTube videos. So I'm not, but I'll tell you about my LinkedIn activities later on in the show.
All right. I haven't told you my funny one yet.
No, you
okay.
haven't.
For 3 months at least, I've been doing this daily brain training using this app called Lumosity. And for a long time, I was too cheap to upgrade. And I upgraded on, don't tell anybody, Black Friday by getting, I think, 40 or 50% off a year's membership, which cost me £23 something or other. And yesterday I noticed something. So what the paid version does, apart from giving you more options, I'm just open it up because I'm going to read this to you, is that it gives you insights into how you're improving, what you're good at, what you're not very good at. And one of the insights is my writer profile, i.e. how I use words. And before I tell you who I use words like, I'm going to tell you how they work out how I use words like. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How is your writer profile determined? For each author, we selected roughly 700,000 words from 10 of their published works, then used an algorithm to identify their most characteristic words. We supplemented Stephen Hawking's vocabulary with words from a contemporary physicist, Richard Feynman, because Hawking's lexicon was relatively specialised and narrow. Each time you play, we determine which author your words match most closely, based on two criteria: the number of matches and the strength of each match. The strength is determined by the word's distinctiveness and its frequency in the author's writing. Your overall rankings, however, are based on only the number of matched words. Right. So, guess... Yes, it's so funny. It is so funny. It's given me the best laugh in the last 48 hours.
You've laughed twice now.
Well, it's so funny.
Yeah,
my best match, let me tell you. Do you want to even guess?
I can't even begin to guess.
No, you can't. That's the point. It's so funny. Right, I'll just read you my top 6.
Go on then.
Number 1, my closest match, and this is brilliant actually, is Stephen Covey.
Oh, very good. Yes.
Well, I mean, and it says here business. Yes. Well, how perfect is that?
Yeah.
Well, prepare for it to get seriously weird now. Okay. Right. Martin Luther King Jr. The Martin Luther King. Agatha Christie.
Okay, I can understand that. A little old-fashioned.
Stephen Hawking.
Well, really?
J.K. Rowling.
Oh, now we're talking.
William Shakespeare. I mean, that is the funniest thing ever, isn't it?
Well, they're all quite good, though, aren't they?
Well, that's what makes it so funny.
I suspect I'd be Jilly Cooper or something.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's worth the upgrade price alone, frankly. You've heard me laughing. That is so funny.
I have never heard you laugh like that.
Well, I just think it's just the wackiest thing ever. I mean, I do love it, actually. Lumosity is a bit eccentric, and funnily enough, you called me a posh eccentric yesterday, and I thought, how very dare she. But Lumosity probably is probably why it's making me laugh so much, because for the same reason I make you laugh so much.
Yeah, you do. And I didn't actually call you a posh eccentric. I said you had traces of posh eccentricity.
Yes, posh eccentricity. Yes, that's right. Same thing, same difference. Anyway, have you told me everything about your week you wanted to tell me now that
the other thing I wanted to mention was the fact that I'm working with this corporate team.
Yes.
On the clicks and leads side of things.
Yes.
I'm astonished to how the politics work. It's the whole email copying thing. Who's left in, who's left out. People telling me not to copy people on certain things.
How many people on the team?
Well, there's about 6 on the actual sort of team that I'm involved in.
Yeah, but in the entire business, how many people?
Not much bigger than that.
Well, see, that's weird, isn't it? Politics amongst 6 people.
I know, but it's really interesting, and I'm getting heavily mentored on how to handle it, because of course my immediate reaction is to go down the drama queen route and get all insulted that I'm being, accused of leaving someone out when I shouldn't have done.
Yes, and vice versa.
My motives are always very, very pure.
Yes.
And all I want to do is get this blooming website done and get the work done that I'm being paid for.
Well, so, it's interesting, isn't it? Because what it makes me realise, it reminds me of a story of Rupert, who was the only boy that worked for my accountancy business, and he used to say to me often after he came from a corporate thing, I can't get over how much more spare time I've got in the daytime because I'm not politicking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's taken, I'm not joking, an hour and a half this morning.
I know, very time consuming.
Just to compile a non-emotional reply to an email, which is going to everybody, starting morning all because I didn't want to choose one person or other to reply to specifically.
Yes.
So yeah, the email's gone off asking for clarification, not least about the email chain of command, because I want to know who I should copy. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm simply not going to not copy everyone.
No, quite.
Because I absolutely hate the idea.
I agree. There's no need for you to play their game as a consultant, is there?
No, totally not. And now I'm past that hurdle. But I was worrying about it last night, and I thought I can't speak to my mentor until this morning. I managed to put it out of my mind. Whereas even 3 years ago, I think I would have been, worried about it all night. So
yeah.
So it was quite good, really. But I was up at the crack of dawn trying to sort it out. But it has taken, like you say, nearly 2 hours.
I know.
Crazy.
Very time-consuming and a terrible waste of time.
Yeah,
and shocking that it's amongst such a small number of people.
So what's fueled your fire this week?
Well, we've got a new friend, haven't we? On our website, and his name's Robin B. And I was very excited that I was going to read you his first lovely comment. But unfortunately, I know you've seen it because you drew my attention to his second lovely comment. But I'm going to read it anyway. Yeah, I am, because I think the listener... Well, Robin B., you lovely sausage for a starter, but also he draws something interesting to my attention. So the thing I found was, Dear Judith and Nicola, I listen to all your podcasts via your website. I'm not a fan of iTunes as I find it hard to navigate, and I prefer to stay off Facebook as much as possible. So having access to your wonderful show here at ownitthepodcast.com exactly suits my needs. This probably makes me one of those listeners who doesn't show up in your download listener count. I was quite pleased to discover I could message you here, as you seem only to mention Facebook and iTunes as contact and feedback points. Good point, Robin. Thank you. If there's one of me, there's bound to be more. I love all your shows. You keep me company at every opportunity. I'm not an entrepreneur, just a fan. Love to you both, and thank you. So the thing he drew to my attention was he's a man. He's not even in our target audience because he's not self-employed. And he's in Australia. Yeah.
I didn't realise he was in Australia.
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. And
he is, because I followed up his email address and it takes me to a techie website, like a sort of, not a techie like you, a techie like an engineering techie.
Yeah. And then what led that was to us looking at our stats of people who visit on the website and to find that the most visited country from is Hong Kong.
Well,
website.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to draw any conclusions about that because our website isn't. We don't, as Robin's pointing out, we don't really talk about it very much.
No, that's true. But in fact, it didn't even exist for a while, did it? Until I decided to put it back up again.
I think it was quite... Anyway, no, he's not in business. He's not a woman. I mean, listener avatar be damned, quite frankly. As I always say to my clients, some of this is scientific and some of it's random. How did he even find out about us?
Yeah, that's what that was going to be my question next.
Quite. But that's why I said to you, I got you to investigate stats yesterday. If we could get it out of Libsyn, we do seem to be quite big down under. Well, I'm going to read you the other one. So I'm actually going to brag about myself all day throughout the entire episode.
Okay.
So I hadn't seen that he'd put another one that said, thank you so much, Judith. You have been and are instrumental in helping me find my way out of a 6-year-long fog of confusion and lost confidence. Recently, I found a woman nearby who does tapping, and it is the kindest, gentlest, most loving and effective healing I've ever encountered. Had you not mentioned tapping in several of your podcasts, I may never have seen the opportunity available to me. You are a bright star in my sky.
Yeah,
May your Christmas be full of joy and love, and your 2020. Listen, look at this. What a clever man. May your Christmas be full of joy and love, and your 2020 absolutely stonking. Who do you think he was quoting there? Me. Yeah. What a wonderful sausage is Robin B.
Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it? Because we resonate with different people, and if they resonate more with me, they don't write in. And if they do, they say, Dear Nicola and Judith. And then if they resonate more with you, they do write in much more.
No, I don't think that's true, Nicola. I don't think that's true. We don't get many comments on the website. I honestly don't think that's true. You're making that up. But actually, him leaving comments on the website is the only way. He explains why that's the only way to talk to us. And I think that's, well, Robin, you fueled my fire, love.
Yeah, well done. I was only teasing, by the way.
Oh, right, good.
So I had one of those calls on Saturday morning that could be I want to pick your brains calls, and the person concerned is very intelligent, and I enjoy talking to him, so I agreed. And he can only talk on Saturday mornings, which normally I wouldn't agree to, but he he works somewhere big. So we had this call, and it started off with me sort of telling him, what was new. And then he told me that his new book had got to number 1 in quite a few categories on Amazon. And I said, how did you do that then? He said, paid ads. And I said, I've never learned how to use Amazon ads, thinking, along the Neil Asher kind of lines, that it was all quite complicated.
Yep.
And he said, no, Amazon book ads are really, really simple.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, oh, my God, I wish I'd known that 10 years before when I released the Money Gym, but they probably didn't even have that. So then I thought, because I'm not allowed to advertise the Money Gym or anything.
Yep.
And then I had this, and then I thought, okay, well, I haven't put up my new book, Attract 3.0, which is an amalgamation of an old book which did very well, and a book and some stuff that's been updated. So I thought, let's just put that up and have a bit of an experiment with his Amazon ads. And he put me in touch with some software, which I'm going to tell you about at the end of this call, and I downloaded that, had a lot of fun all over the weekend finding little known search terms, and obviously contacted you as well about your book. Yeah, it was just great because it had come out of a conversation I didn't expect to be anything for me. I just thought it was a nice thing to do. Next thing you know, I'm learning about something that's A, really, really easy to learn, and B, it's going to benefit me because I've never been able to advertise the Money Gym on anything ever. But because Amazon will make money if I do advertise it, they're going to let me advertise it, aren't they?
Yeah, but they don't have a problem with money.
No, that's right.
Because it's a big sector on theirs.
Yeah, it's basically everyone else thinks that the Money Gym is a get rich quick or
well, you don't know that. You assume that. You don't know that, Nicola. You don't know that. You say that every week.
Judith, I actually get refused advertising, and they quote, it's a multi-level marketing or get rich quick advert. They actually say that in their refusals.
Well, we know why they think you're MLM, because of that popular post that you get paid so well for.
Yes. Yeah, but they actually do say it. So, so that's why I've never been able to advertise it, but now I can. So what I did was I got in touch with my publisher and I said, now I can't advertise this Money Gym because you're the publisher. And I can't, so is there a way that I can have access to just that part of it?
I see what you mean, yes. Yes.
And they came back to me and said, actually, your contract was up after 5 years, and it's been longer than that now, so we'll give you the rights back.
Oh, great.
So they're giving me the rights back. I can now update the book. I can now re-upload the book under my publisher name.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
The only problem is that I'll lose any reviews, but there weren't that many of them to start with, so it's okay.
Well, I read them, and I think you want to lose them.
I do, yes. They're not very nice, are they?
No, they're horrible.
I know, and that's ridiculous when you think how many lives that book's changed.
I know. Can I just say, I couldn't respond to either of your requests this week because one, I'm not on LinkedIn, and two, I think I'm too close to the Money Gym to give you a review that would do you any good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
It's not arm's length enough.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
But no, it was just the whole thing filled my fire for the whole weekend and beyond, because now, I can update the book.
I'd like to draw a conclusion here, which is, Amazon doesn't have any issues with money. It's a bit like when a friend of mine brought round his girlfriend who worked for, what's that shopping channel called in England?
QVC.
QVC, that's it. It begins with a Q. I couldn't remember the rest of it. I drive past their offices frequently, but I couldn't remember the name of it. And somebody made some funny remark in another context about a feeding frenzy or a shopping frenzy. And I said, we love a shopping frenzy, don't we? What's her name? Because, of course, what are they doing on QVC except whipping people up into a shopping frenzy? Yeah. And I don't have a moral issue with that. If you can't resist your urge to get your card out, on your own head be it. And she got very holier than thou with me and said, oh, no, we don't really want that at all. It's like, what's the matter with people when it comes to selling things? Amazon doesn't have an issue. There isn't an issue.
No, well, there shouldn't be, but
no.
People, I'll tell you what it is, it's tied into this whole nanny state thing. Where I grew up fondly believing the government were there to look after us, and actually we're there to be consuming units to keep the economy going. But
yes.
A lot of people, somehow, it must happen in school, are taught that we're supposed to be looked after, and we're supposed to be kept from our own worst, being our own worst enemy and things like that, was actually nobody actually gives a toss.
No. So Facebook wants to keep everybody small.
I think it's more that Facebook want to keep going and not be shut down because of, they're making so much money, but they could be shut down if the legislators. I tell you what, Judith, it's exactly the same thing with the blockchain technology at the moment. The American state Senate are so woefully ill-informed about what blockchain technology is, let alone cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, their government is printing,
legislating. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable.
I know. I think if you were ignorant, you should abstain from voting. I think you should say, I don't understand enough about this to cast a sensible vote. But I'm talking about Facebook and things they won't show. The people in my financial forums who are mainly American and quite right-wing, when they share things that they know to be true along the lines of what we're not taught in schools, i.e. free thinking, Facebook polices them monstrously. They're not allowed to show their own political agenda on Facebook.
Yes.
But it's half of the American agenda.
It's at least half.
Yes, at least half, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, whether or not I want their stuff showing is irrelevant. The fact is, it's not shown.
Yes, that's right. It's throttled, exactly.
Yes, exactly. And that's not free speech.
No, it's not.
What's the opposite of not free? What not free speech?
Censorship.
Censorship. It's censorship. Yes.
And actually, there's nothing that gets the Americans more riled up than not having their free speech, is
there?
Well,
so it should.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think it's different if it's hate crime or that sort of thing, but it's not. It's just another version of reality. Yeah, so there's nothing in it. Well, I take your point very much about the first thing you said about why Facebook by police, but there's no reason for that in the second example, except for the world that Facebook want us all to believe we live in.
I think it's the world that Facebook want the legislators to believe.
To believe, okay, it might be. Yeah. I think that's a nice. I think that's a nice version of it. I think it's not as good as that, actually. But hurrah for Amazon is what I'm saying, because
absolutely.
They don't care as long as they make money.
No, and so the experiment's still ongoing, but I'm managing to get lots and lots of impressions at the moment. The clicks aren't materialising yet, which is I don't know what the ratios are. In most worlds, if you get shown 100 times and you don't get any clicks, it's not great. But in this world, it's all about the clicks versus the sales. So it's like you only pay if you get clicks. So I'm not paying anything yet. My book's being shown everywhere, and I need to just get to the point where I know how many impressions I need to get a click.
Yeah.
Then how many clicks I need to get a
sale. Sale. Yeah.
And if the clicks,
but it doesn't cost you until it starts working.
No.
Oh, brilliant. Well, hang on. And there's two other points here as well, which is only recently have I started to notice sponsored ads on Amazon.
Because they look like.
They do. And B, I've never clicked on one.
No, they look like you might also enjoy this.
Yes, but they're not.
Well, I often click on all sorts of things. I don't even care if it's an ad. If I'll be.
No, but I've never clicked on one. Not because it's an ad. It's just like. They haven't got that right. They haven't offered me something that I would be interested in yet.
They do get that right for me. I often
good. Yeah.
But the other point is, of course, that you don't get paid from your sales on Amazon for 2 months. So
neither you do on. Yes, that's right. Kindle. Yeah. Amazon.
Yes. So what you need to do is you need to be very careful, because you've got to, even if you're making a profit on your click costs by sales, you've still got to finance that for 2 months.
But you've got to look at your reports, because you can see the money sitting there that's coming to you.
Yes.
I've got a big payday on the 1st of January, for instance, that goes back to when I did the podcast with Alice in October.
Yes, but you haven't had any ad costs to get that payday.
No, I haven't. But yours aren't going to be huge because you haven't had any clicks yet.
Well, I don't know, but I've got to keep a very close eye on it. You've got to be able to cash flow your first 2 months. That's the point.
Yeah, but it could be quite small.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Yes, and once you've got over that 2 months, you're off.
Yeah, it's a bit like working a month in hand. You've got to be able to get to work and buy your sandwiches and pay your bus fare for the month.
Yeah, but the good thing about Amazon is there's no question of them not paying you on that due date.
That is the thing I like about it most, because I'm still owed money by you know who.
Yes.
So it's really quite annoying.
Don't let's go into that. But it's cash flow planning is perfect. It's exactly what we need to be able to rely upon.
Absolutely, yes. And that was one of the things that changed my life most when I started doing my cash flow planning weekly. It just completely changed my life. noting what impact I'd spent.
As I used to say to Russell, so common to think in weeks. Have we got an overlap, darling? Are we overlapping?
No, I'm just astonished at what you just said.
I had a colleague who used to think in weeks, and I used to say it's so common to think in weeks.
Oh God! Yet again, I proved myself to be down market.
because salaried people are paid monthly and think in months.
I know they do, but it's actually not a great way to run your finances. It's much better to run your finances weekly. You'll probably just
for you. Yes. It's not a great way for you. Yes.
Yes, all right. Anyway, moving on.
Now, I think we should breathe or something, because I can't hear you because I'm replying to you and then you're talking. There's some sort of delay we've got going on.
Okay, well, we need to calm down generally, because remember, my poor transcriptionist is struggling to keep up with us.
I can't imagine why anybody thinks they want a transcription of our witterings, but still.
Well, it's only the middle bits, not the beginning and end bits, just the middle bits.
Still, I mean, today is not worth transcribing, is it? Because it's our hopes and dreams for 2020.
Well, absolutely, yes. But, you never know. We might mention something like the Amazon ads that somebody might want to go back over at their leisure later.
Yeah, but we haven't done that in the middle bit. We've done it in Fueled Your Fire or something, haven't we?
Well, I'm including Fueled Your Fire in the transcription.
Oh, you are?
Because
okay.
we often talk about good stuff in that.
Okay.
Right, so you go first with this, because I have struggled with this quite a lot.
I haven't given a lot of thought to this. I've written down the 3 ideas I had the day that Marion came over, and it's going to be very short because I don't think any of them bear discussion, really. My hopes for 2020 are that by this time next year I will be out of the rat race and financially free, talking of the Money Gym book, which is the whole point of the Money Gym book, and in a home which is either my forever home or my forever home for now. And I've learned a few tips from all my house sitting, which will be very useful indeed. And my third and final one is to have adventures and opportunities open up, the likes of which I cannot imagine today.
Oh, very, very exciting.
Yeah, I think that one is the most exciting one. The first 2 are quite sort of prosaic and what anybody would want, really. And the third one is, I'd love to get the chance to do something new, and I don't know what it is. So do you see what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I can't chase it. It has to come to me, because a new adventure and a new opportunity. Funnily enough, one of those Facebook friends had some kind of business consultancy in South Africa. And first of all, I thought, oh no. And then I thought, well, that might be one of my new adventures or opportunities to open up. So I said yes.
Want to become a business consultant?
Well, I don't know. No, just, maybe... I don't know. I don't really want to do business consulting anymore, but maybe I don't know. But what I'm saying is, bring it on, even if there are things I say no to.
Yes, hesitate about it.
Yeah. That seem unlikely.
When we talked a while ago, you were talking about getting involved in philanthropic.
Yeah, well, that's definitely where I'm going. That's going to happen, and of course that may have a crossover with something like fledgling businesses in South Africa.
Anything else? Hopes and dreams?
No, that's it. Financial freedom, a la Money Gym book and Out of the Rat Race, a la Cash Flow Game and Robert Kiyosaki, to be more settled domestically and to have new adventures and opportunities. So I want to be able to say to you this time next year when we're reviewing 2020, good heavens, we couldn't see that coming this time last year, could we? Yeah. So it's like, you'll never guess what. Oh, wow, like my clients do to me.
Yeah. Well, that would be really good, wouldn't it?
It would be if it happens.
Yeah. Just to recap for people who are listening, when Judith talks about financial freedom, we're talking about having enough income to cover your outgoings so that you don't have to work for someone else. That's our definition of financial freedom. Because a lot of people do think of...
Unless you... Well, you don't have to work. Sorry. Sorry. You see, we've got this horrible delay. I just want to clarify that. So you don't have to work unless you choose to, not necessarily for somebody else, because we don't work for somebody else, we work for ourselves. So you don't have to work unless you choose to, would be my definition.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And a lot of people who are just starting out on the journey of thinking there must be more to life than this, financially speaking, just imagine that financial freedom only comes with large sums of money, like you get from winning the lottery, etc. But it doesn't actually have to be that much at all. And I go into that in quite some detail in the Money Gym, because that's one of the first misconceptions that I had, was that it had to be a large sum of money. And that was the only way to become financially free. But it doesn't look like that at all.
If I can achieve debt freedom, my first one, my monthly outgoings are so tiny you couldn't possibly imagine.
Oh, well, I can, because mine are now as well.
Yeah.
I mean, astonishing. The one thing that the ups and downs of life have given me is debt freedom and low overheads, because I've shed everything. I've been forced to shed everything.
Yes.
That was like a noose around my neck in retrospect.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting that we have to be forced to do that?
Yes, we all seem to want to accumulate stuff, don't we?
I think we did. I don't think we do anymore. Yeah.
Brainwashed to accumulate stuff.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I see the young generation, some of them, not all of them, my children are so far immune, getting lease cars, getting properties, getting jobs that they're not massively keen on to pay for those things, going out spending lots of money buying furniture, really living the quote normal life. And I just want to say, you're sleepwalking into a nightmare. And I can't say that because everyone thinks I'm batty.
Well, I think it's all right. You and I are square pegs, always have been, always will be. But I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a normal life.
No. I think I secretly would have liked a normal life. I've just never been able to achieve it. And the only times I've ever tried have ended in disaster. So there we go. So on that note, yes. I had quite a lot of resistance to this, and I relish, as you know, making plans and goals for next year. And I bought a new Moleskine diary in the hope that would encourage me. And I've even watched a couple of things. A bit of notebook. I watched a couple of things, one of which, they're both very good, so I'd recommend them. One is Bernadette Doyle's talking about the way she looks at goal setting and things for the next year. And that's inside her private Facebook group, which you can join, I think. And the other one is Kate Cocker, the lady I work with, who's Stephanie's daughter-in-law.
She's the presenter coach.
Yes, she is, except she's going on to be much, much more than that now. She runs an Amazon Skills daily podcast for about 2 or 3 minutes each day called Everyday Positivity. And that's become incredibly popular. And if you look up Everyday Positivity on Facebook, you'll find Kate Cocker. And she did a very good Facebook Live. It was, of the kind that I would have enjoyed several years ago, where she talks about how to make good goals, how to make goals that are meaningful, how to, set them out. And I thought she did a very logical, good job of it. And it didn't go on for too long. It was about 20 minutes. So go and check out Kate Cocker's live stream on goal setting for 2020. I really did enjoy it, but it didn't help me any because then I realized I'm actually there. I'm well on track to all the things I want to be on track for. I've settled down in terms of what I want to do. I know what I want to do now, and I know what I want to do for the future. It's all the same stuff, which is why I'm struggling to set goals, I think, because I'm pretty much there.
I didn't invite you to set a goal. It's called 2020 Hopes and Dreams.
Okay. Well, I don't have any hopes and I don't have any dreams. I'm perfectly peaceful and content as I am. Thank you. I can't imagine anything hopes and dreams wise. I just want to be happy on a day-to-day basis. Am I ducking out?
No. I think that's one of the saddest things I've ever heard, but then you brought it round by saying, I just want to be happy on a daily basis, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
I mean, I obviously want to spend time in Stoupa again, and I obviously want to travel a little bit when I want to, but I can't think of anything else I want to do, Judith. I'm perfectly happy.
Well, that's enough. I only had 3. I only had 3. Stoupa, I've got here happy on a daily basis, Stoupa, and a bit of travel.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I mean, there's nothing with what we're saying is we're pretty content in our middle years. I think that's a success story.
It's a huge success for me because I've never been content. Never. But that's, it's not very good when you're talking about hopes and dreams and trying to fuel up your listeners, is it? Unless what they want is to be happy.
Well, I don't know. I don't. I think it's obviously a thorny area where I don't like goals. In fact, my word of the week, I'm going to merge it, is intention, because I suspect that between now and when we speak again, I shall get around to setting some of those. And that's much more estery, much more woo-woo, much gentler. I've always, ironically for a coach, I've always resisted goals. I don't get my clients to set goals. If they want to set goals, great. But really, we're just moving closer all the time to our lives that we hope for and dream about.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that Bernadette said, which I really resonated with, was about, how she gets her clients to set goals, which is that they can set goals, but then they have to work backwards from that goal and tell her what they're going to be doing on a daily basis to achieve the goal. Or she doesn't let them set that goal, because if you can't, there's no point in having a goal that's pie in the sky and picked out of nowhere if you don't know the steps you're going to take to achieve that goal. It's just a hiding to nothing. And I thought that was really good advice, because
yes, I don't agree with her. I think that is I always get the sides of my brains confused. I should be right brained, but I'm left brained. I think it's rather right brained, which is all about logic and
but I traditionally am drawn to
you are absolutely, yes. I would take the opposite side of that, which perhaps is why it never worked out between me and Bernadette.
Well, I'm just going to carry on watching a few things from people I care about to, who I think are sound, just to see if anything inspires me to set any goals. But as of this moment in time, which is a shame because we're recording this episode, I don't really have any. I mean, I just want to keep moving forward with Clicks and Leads Academy, the consultancy, mentoring, and Stoupa Life. And I'm even rolling my books up into just two, the Money Gym and Attract 3.0, because I want to stop doing new stuff all the time. It's been like a disease for me all my life, and
that's true. Yeah. Tell me what your word of the week is.
New, because it's New Year and new things will happen to all of us, whether we like it or not.
That's true.
And yours?
I said intention.
Okay. Yes, but you need to say it in the right section, Judith, otherwise it doesn't work.
These two kind of sprawl. This whole thing really sprawls. Anyway, let's do project updates.
Okay, I've got some good ones on this one. I have, obviously, as you know, we've topped 130,126 downloads. I always love it when we turn, another zero. So that's really good. And the other thing was that I've been sharing every day on LinkedIn a 10-minute extract from the podcast. I started back, because I'm doing it with video, so not audio. I started back the earliest episode we've got video for. And I'm going to bring us up to date. So over Christmas and New Year, we'll be up to date. And then what I'll do is every week I'll publish on Fridays the current week. And then I'll do episodes 1 to 4, whatever I started with, to catch up. So there'll be a throwback Tuesday and there'll be a current Friday. And in the meantime, I've only done it about four days now, but I've doubled the number of views on my profile on LinkedIn just by doing that. And I wondered, I don't know if you even have a LinkedIn profile, do you? It might be worth going to have a look.
No, not on LinkedIn. I said.
Oh, okay. Okay, so just to let people know that, the thing that Gary Vaynerchuk's talking about, which is that LinkedIn is a great opportunity at the moment due to no throttling of the algorithm, seems to be bearing out. But I'll report back more in forthcoming weeks.
Well, I'm very impressed because that's a huge amount of work.
It's not that bad because I Libsyn do it automatically. It goes onto YouTube automatically, and I'm just downloading it from YouTube and chopping off the excess. I'm just literally putting the first 10 minutes of the Focus of the Week section on, along with the theme tune at the beginning. So it's not much work at all.
Okay.
Who or what's impressed them?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I lied last week. I told you I wasn't very impressed with X Factor, the band show. I ended up enjoying it enormously. Not as much as MasterChef Professionals, which I'm really enjoying, and Blub. Why does MasterChef Professional make me blub? I don't know. It's very interesting. And the other thing that's impressed me this week is this software that my friend recommended to me, and I recommend to you if you're an author. It's called publisherrocket.com. And at the moment, it's $97 for a one-off lifetime license. But they are going to go to subscription, so do go and secure your copy. It tells you all sorts of interesting things, like how many, what categories you need to sell fewer books in to get to number one or the top 10. It tells you keyword searches that are happening on Amazon. It's fascinating. People use Amazon like Google. They're searching for all sorts of things on Amazon. And the thing about Amazon that Neil says is that they're searching with intent to buy. So it's fascinating to see the kinds of keywords that you could put your book in front of people when they're searching. So it's not just about being in the right category. It's about the fact that people use the box on Amazon like a search bar on Google. So that's a huge opportunity, and I recommend this software. It's affordable and very, very informative and easy to use.
And the funny thing is, when I'm shopping on Amazon, I never use categories. Do you?
No, not at all. I search for what I'm looking for.
So do I, and it offers me the opportunity to sort of, do you want it in so the same item might be in home, or it might be food and grocery, or it might be something else, and I don't care what category it's in.
No, and I don't even go. I don't even search in books for books. I just put the name of the book I'm looking for, or the author.
Right. Yes, me too.
But what this software has shown me is that people are searching like they do on Google. They're searching for the answer to their problems.
No, I understand. And it was you told me that your kids do that on YouTube.
Yes, they do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use it just like Google. It's fascinating.
So everybody uses everything, or everything has the potential to be used as a search engine.
Yeah. They're doing it on Facebook as well.
Oh, yeah. I think it's strange when people ask Facebook, for the answers to their questions. And I always think of what Steve used to say with, shall I Google that for you?
Yes. He was so rude, wasn't he?
Well, no, he's right, isn't he? But I understand why people do it. People who have a different personality to me are hoping to open up some kind of, dialogue which alleviates either boredom or loneliness or both.
And things the reason I didn't think automatically to Google things was because I didn't grow up with Google being the all-seeing, search engine that it is now. So I never imagined that other people will have Googled my exact same specific problem. But when you start typing your exact same specific problem in, loads of other people have had the same issue.
Of course, because it's in the nature of a human being. We never feel anything uniquely.
Yes, as Rich Sheffrin says, that which is most general is also most personal.
Exactly, and I think I think that's comforting in a strange way. You're not alone with anything.
Well, that's what I used to think when I went to therapy. I found it very comforting that other people had been as batty as I was.
Or actually, that to be batty is quite boring and normal.
Yeah. You have to work quite hard to be extremely batty.
Interesting, yes.
So what about you then?
So I'm going to tell you the story of a long-time client I've worked with since 2008. And another client who had worked with me, but not for such a long period of time, was asking, can you recommend a coach? And obviously I wasn't her coach because we worked together, and she clearly didn't think of me, which is rather strange. But anyway, this woman recommended me. She said she's the best all-round business life coach I've had bar none since 2009. And then she told a story I absolutely love about how she cried all the way through our first session, which strangely was face-to-face. But what I loved about this story was not her loyalty, although I certainly appreciate that, but rather the fact that she just takes for granted that as a businesswoman, a bit like an athlete, she needs someone in her corner all the time who is sometimes encouraging her onwards, other times getting her to enjoy and appreciate her own successes, keeping her vibe up, offering unconditional love and support, and sometimes even tough love. What's impressed me is that this is just a fact of her life and her business. She just takes it for granted. It's a non-thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would you have had a coach since 2008, the same coach since 2008? I'm just part of her success team.
Yes.
And consequently, she is very successful. And interesting, wasn't it, that the woman who was asking isn't as successful as my client, but didn't take the tip that my client gave her, which is, find a business, get somebody in your corner.
Yeah.
And stick with it. Don't flirt. Don't fuss about.
Yes. People are always looking for the next best thing.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And actually what my client demonstrates is you put the time in. Yes. There you go. Yeah.
Nice one to end the year on.
Well, I did say I was going to brag unmercilessly today. It's all down to Robin. We can blame him for that.
Yes, you've got to go in, Robin, on her own self-esteem.
So, Nicola, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
There will be champagne corks and things, will there?
Well, I'm bound to be, Judith. You know,
yes.
This household.
No, I meant in our podcast, darling.
Oh, right, yes.
I didn't doubt there would be in your household.
No, I've never let you down on the sound effects yet.
No, you haven't. No, that's true.
Excellent. All right.
All right, babe. Yeah. See you in 2020.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
It's a brand new day.
You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. Do come and visit us at ownitthepodcast.com. We love to hear your feedback. You can find out more about Judith and visit her on her website at judithmorgan.com, and you can find Nicola at nicolacairncross.com.